Naaman had seen every doctor in Aram. He tried every medicine. Nothing had worked. Naaman and the dirty water. The memory verse is from John chapter 1, verse 16. It says, "From the fullness of his grace, we have all received one blessing after another." Today's message is God's grace is for everyone. Can you do something for me? Can you touch your elbows? Now, I'd like for you to rub your index fingers together. Which could you feel more? Your elbow or your index fingers? There are many more nerves in your fingers than on your elbow. God gave us special nerves to help us know when we touch something hot or cold, hard, soft, or painful. People who have leprosy lose the ability to feel those things. Here's what happened to one man who had leprosy. Naaman was the commander of the army of Aram, that's Syria. He was famous for winning battles, and he was a close friend of the king. One day, this warrior got very sick. His skin began to dry up, it turned white, and began to fall off. And he was losing some of his ability to feel things. Naaman had leprosy, a disease no doctor could cure. A young Israelite girl worked for Naaman's wife. She was a captive from one of Aram's raids against Israel. The girl now lived far away from home, among Israel's enemies. But she had not forgotten the great things God had done for Israel. "Why doesn't my master Naaman go to ask the prophet in Israel to heal him? Elisha could ask God to cure the leprosy," she asked Naaman's wife. Naaman had seen every doctor in Aram. He tried every medicine. Nothing had worked. Elisha was his last hope. Naaman led several troops of Aramean soldiers to Israel. Wagons followed, loaded with treasure to pay for a miracle cure. What a strange sight this must have been. But Elisha didn't give Naaman any medicine. He sent his servant to tell Naaman to go wash himself, not just anywhere, but in the Jordan River, which flowed nearby. Naaman was frustrated. Elisha hadn't even talked to him. He had expected Elisha to ask the God of Israel to do something big. But all he had been told to do was to dip himself in a dirty river? Not once, but 7 times? He was ready to go home. If he was going to wash himself, he would do it at home. The rivers near his home ran fast and clear. The Jordan was a muddy stream, not much wider than a camel path. Fortunately, one of Naaman's servants stopped him. "If Elisha had asked you to do something big, would you have done it?" "Well, of course I would," Naaman thought. He had conquered entire countries. There was no big thing he couldn't do, except to heal himself. The servant continued, "Then what is so hard about doing such a little thing?" Naaman thought about it. Then he made up his mind. He would do what God's prophet said. He went to the Jordan River. 6 times he lowered himself into the water. Nothing happened. As he rose from the water a 7th time, something had changed. His pale, dry skin was gone. He was covered with the soft, healthy skin of a young man. Not only was he changed outside, Naaman had also changed inside. "I know that the God of Israel is the only true God," he said. Only the love of God could make a captive servant girl be kind to her captors. Only the power of God could work miracles through the prophet Elisha. Only God's grace could heal a foreign warrior of his sickness. God wants to give his gifts of grace to everyone, including you.